Alright, what's up? This is your host, Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And after a week of break, I am finally back to come back to you with more crypto news, with more NFT news. So I do know that the market isn't looking so well today. So let's have a look at this. So this is today's cryptocurrency market prices and by market cap, right? So if you look at this, basically right now the global cryptocurrency market cap is 1.83 trillion, right? So we did lose some money out of the market because, just a week ago we were talking about 2 trillion market cap, but now there is a drop. So it's a 2.86 decrease over the last day. And as you can see, Bitcoin is now, dropping below 40,000, and Ethereum is now trading at $2,942, which is lower than 3,000, which is kind of like a psychological zone that, hey, if we are at 3,000, everything is well and good, right? So basically, as you can see, the market has, corrected quite severely, but so far it's kind of coming up slowly. But the lowest we had was around 2,897, right? So it is a big correction from 3,000 to 2,000, because every time when you no longer see that 3,000, psychologically it kind of feels like that's the end, right? But it is interesting to see right now everything is kind of going down, but interesting, you can see that Terra is actually going up in terms of 24 hours change, right? But you'll ask, what is the reason behind this, right? And for those of you who do not know, actually, besides regulatory reasons, besides crypto native reasons that something could drop, actually the global stock market could basically affect the crypto market, right? But today this is not actually very helpful because a lot of market hasn't been trading due to the Easter holiday. So basically you might be looking at the Chinese market. But if you look at this global market indexes, right, basically in general, so Dow Jones is not fair to watch right now, right, because this is before Easter, right? So you just go down, some markets are up, but some markets that were trading are actually going down, right? You can see the redness here. Now if you keep scrolling, the Japanese market is actually going down. As you all know, the yen, the Chinese market, the A50 is going down in terms of the index. And one of the reasons why I think the reason why crypto is going down is that if you look at this, the first thing you'll see in CNBC, right, is that the first highlight they have is Asia stock mix as investors react to Chinese economic data. So basically what happened is that China's economic data has been issued today, and their first quarter GDP beats expectations to grow 4.8 year on year, right? But if you compare this year on year, so basically the first quarter GDP rose, right? But however, the unemployment rate in those 31 major cities, rose as well, right? So that's why, I think people thought that, hey, they wanted, the China market economic index to be good, right? But right now, what you can see is that industry production is good. It rose by 5%, beating the forecast of 4.5. But retail sales has, fell more than expected, 3.5 from a year earlier. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I see your comments. So analysts polled by Reuters anticipate a 1.6% decline, right? So basically, one of the reasons why, the market seems a bit bearish is that, first of all, this economic index, the information from China isn't really that 100% positive because there is a rising unemployment in the 31 major cities, and and it is becoming more and more severe when the pandemic started, right? And as you all know, there is a COVID break in Shanghai where there is lockdowns, right? So the whole city has to be in lockdown, and therefore, that it is actually a very challenging time, right? And so that's why, even though they might have achieved the GDP, metrics, but in general, things are looking doom and gloom, right? So I think one of the reasons why, the crypto market is going down could be because of what is happening in China. How it, talked about their, the economic data could affect this negatively. Because as you can see, all the Asian stocks are actually kind of going down, right? Besides the Hang Seng Index, which is in Hong Kong. But a lot of them is going down. So the next information or reason could be because a US futures bond drop as trader Mao Fed moves. So basically, what people are afraid is that the US Feds might make some move to curb inflation, right? Because we all know inflation is becoming more and more serious, and especially with the war between Russia and Ukraine, a lot of the supply chains are being disrupted. So that's why people are kind of bearish in general, right? And because cryptocurrency is a highly volatile asset, it is more risk averse. People tend to liquidate those assets before liquidating those stocks, right? So the general market does affect the whole cryptocurrency market as well. So this could also be a reason why the market is kind of bearish, and how it affects the crypto market as well. So I was trying to look at different type of insight. So basically, here's another news from the Market Watch. For those of you who have not been following any economic news, what people were saying is that people are worried that a recession and fear would happen, right? They're afraid that inflation basically means everything is becoming more and more expensive. Things are less and less affordable, and because the Feds in the US is cutting down the interest rate, it's even harder for you to borrow money, and that is why people are very bearish with regards to the overall global market, right? Everyone is talking about a recession, and also Bank of America's profit fall less than expected, right? So a lot of different type of different news that you can see is actually quite doom and gloom, right? So every time whenever there's a kind of like a semi retracement or semi crash, the first thing is not to immediately sell or become very nervous or whatever. First of all, you have to calm down. Go to different websites to look at, like maybe investing.com, look at the major indices, try to understand if this is a crypto related drop, or is this a global market related drop, right? Then go to websites like CNBC, look at the different type of markets, see how is it positive or negative for crypto, and try to see the news. Usually people trade based on headlines, right? So if you look at these headlines, if it's bearish, and you start understanding why, as long as it is not like, we're gonna kind of tax crypto for 30%, affecting people by trading it, or as long as it is not like, we're banning cryptocurrencies and stuff like that 100% in certain countries or something like that, then it would not really kind of affect it, have like a crypto native effect. For example, back then when China banned Bitcoin mining, right? It affected the whole market as well, because the hash rate was going down, and so on, right? And people have to liquidate in order to move their mining machines to other places. So yeah, that's it about the crypto market, and therefore because all of this, the crypto fear and greed index is now at extreme fear, right? So we have been on this roller coaster before. Usually when it's in extreme fear, usually it would recover, but it really depends on your risk tolerance as well. So in terms of DeFi, whenever there's a dump or change in the market, usually DeFi will also be affected, right? So the total value locked is $205 billion, right? And there's a change in 24 hours, there's 2.59% change. So when people start selling, right, when people start removing the money from DeFi, it could mean that some of them may be taking some profit. Some of them, some of the money is leaving the crypto market, and it could be a good indicator for you to see what is happening in the market right now, right? So as you can see, all of the different type of chains, are going down, right? Different type of the DeFi protocols are going down. So this is affected by the general crypto market. As you can see, all of the different type of blockchain DeFi has been affected. So, this is how everything is interrelated, right? For those of you who do not know the reason why when Bitcoin drops, everything drops, is that a reason behind that could be because in DeFi, you have a liquidity pair, right? Basically, you provide liquidity in order to get yields and stuff like that. So if one asset goes down, the other mainly, would go down with that liquidity pair as well. So that's the reason why whenever Bitcoin dumps, whenever Bitcoin sneezes, the altcoins dumps, but the major alts suffer less because of a higher market cap. But then the even smaller alts starts to have huge dumps, right? But these percentage aren't really that crazy, so it's still manageable. But just don't immediately sell everything and give up in this market, because you have to understand why this market is going down. So that is with DeFi. So moving on to NFT news, right? rather than just going to a dashboard to show you the floor price movement, I think that whenever we look at the floor price movement, it's basically too late for you to do any investment, right? Because that is a after effect, right? When the floor price for a project has moved, it means that something has already been bought, and if you buy the NFT, basically you might be buying into the pump. So rather than that, what I've decided to do in my new videos right now is that I would talk about what whales are buying, right? So right now I'm using the Conundrum tool, okay? So within the Conundrum tool, what you can do is that you can actually look at certain NFT holders. Say for example, right now I can look at all the CryptoPunk holders, and within the past 12 hours, I can see all the projects that they have brought and all the projects that they have sold, right? So if the whales are buying for certain project, it could possibly mean that something might be up. Or if a lot of whales is buying a certain project, it could mean that it could be an alpha call within the community, right? So right now, some of the biggest projects or the biggest whale community would definitely be CryptoPunks, would definitely be Bored Ape Yacht Club, would definitely be Mutant Ape Yacht Club. And recently everyone has seen how amazing Moonbird has with a 2.5 mint, and now the floor is like trading around 20 or something ish Ethereum, right? So Moonbird itself and also the Proof Collective is actually a great community to check out for any alpha, right? And also Azuki as well. So I'll use these different type of communities and look at what their holders are buying to kind of give you some insight of what people are buying and the reason for that, and whether that is something that you might want to copy trade, right? But none of this is financial advice. All of this is just the information on the blockchain. I just want to talk about it because when we look at floor price movement, the floor price has already moved. But when we look at what whales are buying in the past 12 hours, maybe there is a chance we can identify some blue chip projects, right? So for the first one, let's look at CryptoPunk. If you look at the top 5 projects that they are buying right now, the first one is Murakami Flower Seeds, right? For those of you who do not know, Murakami is actually a artist in Japan. He's a very famous contemporary Japanese artist, famous for his drawings like the flowers, right? So the reason why whales are buying this right now is that they actually did a raffle as well, and now the public people who won the raffle can actually mint these NFTs, and the floor price right now they're selling around 5 ETH because of Murakami himself, because he's a very famous artist, right? So these whales are actually buying Murakami, like 32 items were bought from CryptoPunks. And then you can see other type of different projects, and of course Moonbird is number 4 over here, and then you have Shinsekai. Shinsekai is a project that I covered before, which is similar to Clone X, but actually is a 3D animated profile pic project. And the reason why whales are actually buying is that their reviews just happened in the last 12 hours, right? So once the project has reviewed, and if people whales with money to spend would like to buy certain ones to collect, then they will affect the purchase, right? So basically, this is what the CryptoPunk holders are buying. And then right now, let's move on to Bored Ape Yacht Club. As we see, Murakami Flowers 57 has been brought, right? So Murakami is definitely a top item that people are actually starting to buy now in the whale community. And without saying more, Moonbird is definitely a lot of people buying. But you also have Mooncats, right? So the reason, so Mooncat is actually a historical NFT project which has cat art generated on chain, right? And you can actually put accessories for your cat, right? So the reason why Mooncat is actually gaining traction is that because first of all, there was some Discord screenshot of someone planning to acquire the collection, right? But this is all rumors, right? So once people acquire the collection, once there's a new team, it basically means that maybe there's a chance that there would be new development for certain projects, and that could be bullish for certain projects. And also for Mooncat, there is actually a very famous NFT historian influencer called Leon Diaz. He basically talked about Mooncats, and because everyone is talking about Moonbirds, so he talked about Mooncats and also their historical significance. And Leon Diaz himself actually does have a lot of followers, right? Remember back then when Gary Vee bought his Crypto Skull, that is the reason why Gary Vee bought his Crypto Skull back then is because Leon Diaz talked about Crypto Skull and the historical significance being like a first profile picture project or something like that, which pumped the price up, right? So basically, Mooncat is gaining traction because number one, there's a rumor that they might be acquired by someone. Number two, a NFT influencer historian is talking about its historical significance, right? So that's why that pumps up the purchase as well within these big communities, right? If you look at Mutant Ape Yacht Club, same. Even more items of the Murakami seed was bought. Now you have Moon Cats, and interestingly, Mutant Apes are actually buying Mutant Apes. So what? And also they sold 27 Moonbirds, right? What could possibly happen is that maybe some Mutant Ape bought some Moonbirds, made some money, sold those Moonbirds, and bought more Mutant Apes, right? So this is an interesting thing to see whenever you see this 12 hours thing, right? But it's kind of weird because this is item minted and there's 2 item minted for Mutant Apes. So this is kind of weird. So this is kind of weird for them to show this because Mutant Apes has already minted. Oh, wait. No, Mutant Ape. I think this minted is basically means mixing the Bored Ape serum with the Bored Ape with the mutant serum, creating a new Mutant Ape. Okay, so this could be a possible reason, right? So Mooncats, as I said, are the reason why, and actually Shinsekai, they're actually buying Shinsekai as well. And then next we go to Moonbird because everyone is saying that, hey, Moonbirds or Proof Collective could be like the next Yuga lab, right? So it is a very strong community. You have a lot of money going in. People thought that they might not be able to sell 10,000 of the profile pics, but they sold out with a 2.5 ETH mint price. And then it was very impressive, right? So everyone knows about Moonbirds on all your feeds. I actually covered Moonbird in the end of March. So I covered it a while ago as well. So as long as you watch my channel, you'll see that I cover pre-mints, I cover Moonbirds. So all of this you could get if you watch this channel. So if you like the channel, remember to like and subscribe. So when we look at Moonbirds, right, you see that they're buying pretty much the same thing, but interestingly, they are buying rubber ducks, right? So I think 52 rubber ducks, and I think rubber ducks, the reason behind that is that rubber ducks have some interaction with Moonbirds. Are they related to Proof Collective? I'm not sure, but definitely I think there is something going on between them because I looked at Rubber Duck's Twitter. They said congratulations Moonbird, right? So I think there might be something happening in between. Proof Collective, Emerge Hot by You is actually a Grail, an NFT project by Proof Collective, and so people are buying it as well. And Moonbirds definitely Grail by Proof Collective, and also Rubber Duck, right? And Murakami Flower Seed. So basically, by looking at all of this, and also Azuki are also definitely buying Murakami because Azuki, I personally think when you look at these movements, you'll see what type of community these people are, right? For people who like Azuki, they're gonna be people who like anime, right? Who like Asian influences, right? So definitely when a Japanese contemporary artist has their own collection, it's gonna be very popular with a project that is very Asian driven, right? Look at Shinsekai. Shinsekai, there's 62 Shinsekai bought by Azuki, right? And then there's actually Illogic, which is pretty interesting. So definitely check that out. I'm not sure what it is. So that's it for what whales are buying. I hope you get some insight. So rather than talking about floor price movement in the future, I'll talk about what whales are buying based on different community. And if you are watching and if you want me to cover other type of community, maybe the Cybercon community, the Neo Tokyo community, what those whales are buying, do let me know in the comments below. Do let me know, send me a DM, and I'll use that as a tool to kind of talk about what whales are buying on a daily basis so that you could explore new projects, right? So since we were talking about Moonbird, I actually talked about why I think Moonbird's launch was very successful. And I think it is a very helpful case study for people who want to launch their NFT project who has a very solid team as well. Well, first of all, Moonbirds is actually by a project by Calvin Rose. So Calvin Rose is actually someone who's very well known within the tech space, has done a lot of startup, a lot of successful business, worked in Google Ventures, right? But in terms of the way that they executed, I want to talk about why it was so successful, right? Because usually when someone mints something or a project launches, the floor price could dump when the bot starts selling, right? So at first people were thinking that, hey, Moonbirds could double, they could sell at 5 to 6 ETH, but no one knew that they're going to start selling at 12 ETH. So I want to talk about why they were successful, okay? The first thing is that in the Moonbird mint, right, before public sale, so the 24% people who won the raffle, the first people who mint are actually people who owns the Proof Pass, right? So the Proof Collective Pass is the pass where people can buy for around, back then was around 20 Ethereum, 90 Ethereum. So they have 2 free mints for Moonbird, right? So because these people are actually established whales, right? They don't need to have a quick flip. They don't have to, immediately sell the NFT to take profit, right? So by letting their whales mint, they actually create the floor price, right? So when they started listing these Moonbirds, they were listing at 12 ETH, right? And everyone was like, oh, that's impossible. How can you sell like this profile pic for 12 ETH, right? But because they created the floor, the pre-mint people who were the 24% who were lucky, were able to mint, and then they started following the whale in terms of listing the NFTs, right? So they started listing at 12 ETH, but then to them 10 ETH or 9 ETH is a lot of money. Then they started listing at 10 ETH, 9 ETH, 7 ETH, and then people started FOMOing, people started buying these Moonbirds at 7 and 9 ETH, right? So an important thing I think is that the Moonbird did not have a blind box mechanism, right? Imagine if they have a blind box mechanism, they're gonna have some way to, earn secondary royalties, right? Because people would, buy these blind box hoping for a quick flip, but then they're gonna hold on to it before review, right? But because Moonbird was actually immediate review, right? So once you buy that Moonbird, once you mint that Moonbird, it shows you the profile picture immediately. It creates real profile picture demand, right? So for example, if you really want to be in a community, right? And if you really want a profile picture that belongs to you, and if you have money on secondary, if you have an immediate review, you can immediately buy the profile pic that you want and you hold on to it and you would no longer list it, right? So that would reduce the supply and that would reduce the listing, causing the floor to go up even higher or causing a very strong floor. So that could be a very good way to, kind of promote the project or kind of, execute this mint, like a successful mint, immediate review, okay? And also, of course, definitely, without, question, the team is very strong, the community is very strong. And personally, I kind of like the art as well, right? I think the pixels, the pixel Moonbird, these aren't low quality pixels, right? These are quality pixel Moonbirds, right? So if we look at Moonbirds, right, the reason why I said it is a strong community is that this tweet said that how healthy is the collection Moonbirds, right? In the map below, each bubble represents a wallet holding NFT from Moonbirds, right? Most bubbles are not linked, so the wallet belongs to separate investors, right? The collection has been distributed organically, bubbles, right? So it shows that actually these wallets aren't really linked with each other when the mint started happening. So it means that the raffles were able to, distribute fairly, right? It means that no whales are actually manipulating this. No whales are actually, sending funds to each other and to mint these Moonbirds. These are actual minters. These are actual people behind the mint. So that's why it is very strong. And one final thing I said is that because the proof collected Discord was actually private, right? It wasn't available on the website. It wasn't that easily available. It's very hard to FUD the project, right? If you have a Discord, if you have a general channel, it's so much easier to FUD the project, right? Oh, it's not minting out. Oh, people are selling it for very low. Then people started panicking, right? But because everything is done on Twitter, right? You have to search Moonbird in order to see the FUD, right? And they weren't that much FUD as well. People were just, wow, this project is minting so high. I mean, minting at this price, but the floor price is so high. They were all like, shocked, because everyone thought that the market wasn't doing so well, right? But it seems that there's a lot of money on the side. So I think because people cannot spread FUD immediately in an instant messaging platform like Discord, I think that was very helpful for the project in order to contain FUD and also to maintain such a successful floor price, right? So all of this is a very helpful case study to see why Moonbird was successful. So yeah, moving on to our daily news. Hi Dickens here for the Moonbird Alpha. So no alpha yet, but this is basically about why I think the launch was very successful. I think your alpha is that definitely solid team, solid art, solid community, and that's it. That's your alpha, right? But from my understanding is that they're gonna have the staking mechanism next week. So sometimes when we talk about NFTs, we have to think about what the retailers should think, right? When we talk about staking, it means that these NFTs would be out of the secondary market, and since the supply is lower and there's currently still demand, right? There is a chance that people are speculating that the floor price could go up, right? So staking. So if you think that way, is this the right time to sell? Well, if you mint it, you didn't buy at a really high price, maybe you can wait for a week and see how it goes. But this is definitely not financial advice. And once staking really happens, and also another very important thing for you to do is that once staking starts happening, it's important that the team kind of talks about the values that they can add for you, right? If they have really cool, benefits for staking, right? And people will definitely hold on to the Moonbirds, right? They won't sell, which causes a more it will have a supply shock, right? If that happens, probably it is a better time to sell by then, right? But if the benefits aren't really that attractive, right? So it really depends on the announcement that the team makes, right? It could definitely create some sell pressure. So that's what I would say, right? So always, if you hold a Moonbird, look closely at their staking mechanism that's coming up in 1 week. Right now, we still do not have any information yet. But look at the staking mechanism, look at what benefits they're giving to the holders through staking, and definitely I think the market will react to that. But in my personal opinion, I'm not looking at any other different type of NFT projects right now, because I think that there is some big dates that are coming out, right? Because Yuga Labs 1 year anniversary, the Bored Ape Yacht Club 1 year anniversary is actually coming up next week. I don't know the exact date, but it's coming up next week, right? And everyone is speculating that they're gonna have a Yuga Lab land sale, right? So definitely, money is gonna be flowing everywhere, right? So if Yuga Labs really decides to sell 100,000 land, yeah, 100. I think they were talking about 100,000 plot of land, not 10,000, right? And each selling for 1 Ethereum. And because of the Yuga Labs brand and also the Metaverse play, there's a chance that liquidity could come from maybe Moonbirds or something like that, or it could come from smaller projects, right? So if they really do announce something like that, people might get liquid in order to buy Yuga Labs Metaverse land, right? Because they want to take part in the Yuga Labs land, right? Or it might affect the Ape token as well. So I would definitely keep a close eye on Yuga Labs and also Bored Ape Yacht Club to see what is going to happen for the 1 year anniversary, right? Because if they make certain announcement, it could definitely move market. It could definitely it's not fair to say it would drain liquidity. But we do see for Moonbird, some people were actually selling mutant apes to buy a Moonbird. So liquidity is actually keeps flowing everywhere. So you have to always check Twitter for the latest narrative and to be careful, right? So talking about Twitter, I want to talk about the daily news for today. The first one is actually Metamask, right? So if you are using an iPhone, basically it depends on whether you use iCloud as a backup, right? So what happened was that if you actually are using an iCloud, right, by default there's a chance that your private key could be backed up into iCloud, okay? So that's why they're saying that if you have enabled iCloud backup for app data, this will include your private password encrypted Metamask vault, right? If your password isn't strong enough and someone phishes you for your iCloud credentials, this could mean stolen funds, right? So basically, you can disable the iCloud backup for Metamask specifically by turning off the toggle here. If you want to avoid iCloud surprising you with unrequested backups in the future, you can turn this feature off, right? So basically what it means is that if you have iCloud backup by default, and if you use an iPhone and if you use Metamask, by default, your Metamask private keys and stuff like that would be uploaded to the iCloud backup, right? So if someone were able to hack your iCloud, if someone were able to get your credentials, get your password for your iCloud and not your private key, they can actually use an iPhone and to use your iCloud to back up your Metamask onto their iPhone. Okay, that's my understanding. So it is important that you disable this and reduce the attack factor, right? So if you use an iPhone, if you use Metamask, definitely look at this Metamask post by them just today. Yeah, they just posted today. Okay, so this is the first news I want to talk about. The second news is actually about Coinbase. So I saw this article and it's kind of interesting to see. So a while back we had a huge dump, right? And back then people were saying, okay, the dump could be because the Indian government is now charging 30% on crypto profit, right? And that could affect the market, right? But at that same moment, what happened was that Coinbase actually suspended something related to payments on their Indian market. So this article basically says that, hey, Coinbase is the popular crypto exchange in the US. huge ambition. Namaste India, they're trying to enter into the Indian market, right? So they're doing a lot of marketing in India and stuff like that, right? So on April 7th, Coinbase announced that crypto investors could now use the country's online retail payment system to transfer funds to the platform, right? So this is bullish, right? People in India can, transfer funds to Coinbase and start trading crypto. It means new money coming in, right? So this online retail payment system is actually known as UPI, okay, which is the United Payment Interface, and it is a government-regulated payment system, right? So it is run by an entity, which is the National Payments Corporation of India, that's part of the country's central bank, okay? So, but 3 days later, after the announcement, Coinbase suspended transfers of rupees, the local currency, to this trading app, and the company did not give a reason for this abrupt stop, but it could be that the reason is due to the fact that the authorities were not aware of Coinbase project. So basically what happened is that NPCI, which is basically I think the National Payment Corporation of India, decided to post on Twitter saying that with reference to some recent media reports around the purchase of cryptocurrency using the infrastructure, National Payment Corporation of India would like to clarify that we are not aware of any crypto exchange using UPI. Okay? So basically, the impact is huge because Coinbase customers in India find themselves without the means to fund their account with rupees, right? So as of April 10th, buyers are currently disabled due to an ongoing issues we're experiencing with the UPI system. Coinbase said on its Indian website, we're working hard to resolve the issue. We advise you to check your account periodically to see if the issue is fixed, right? So right now, besides the UPI infrastructure, there is no other ways for people in India to actually buy, transfer funds into Coinbase India. So, according to this article, it says that the Coinbase misadventure illustrates the difficulty of the crypto sphere in India, where lawmakers last month adopted a 30% tax on profit generated by cryptocurrency, right? So, in doing so, lawmakers treat crypto as the profit generated by gambling, which are taxed to the maximum, okay? So another tax on all crypto transactions over a certain amount is due to take effect on July 1st. So all of these dates, why am I talking about this? Is that if you are trading NFTs, if you are trading crypto, these dates are kind of important because India is actually a big market for cryptocurrency, right? India with Vietnam is one of the countries where the adoption of crypto is most widespread according to data and research from Chainalysis, right? So 100 million people, 7.3% of India's total population currently owns cryptocurrency, right? So, the trading volume would definitely affect the whole crypto market, right? So if you have more tax coming up, if you have some, roadblocks, obstacles in allowing people to transfer money to convert to cryptocurrency, it will definitely affect the market. So, definitely keep an eye on these news and also on these dates, July the 1st. And next news is actually related to NFTs. So Activision Blizzard is actually the company that was acquired by Microsoft. It's in the process of being acquired by Microsoft, right? So Activision Activision Blizzard, not Blizzard, is actually a game development company, right? So they recently did a YouGov survey, and then they asked players how interested they are in the range of emerging future trends in gaming, right? So basically they're asking people, what are your thoughts on the future of gaming, right? Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, crossplay option. But one thing they talked about is actually NFTs, right? So it shows that actually, a company that is in the process of being acquired by Microsoft is actually looking into NFTs. So of course, Microsoft will be looking into NFTs, right? If they have Minecraft, which is a game that a lot of people play, and Minecraft is already an existing metaverse. It's just not Web3 supported yet, right? Even NFT World is actually being ran on the infrastructure of Minecraft. So it shows that it is interesting to see gaming studios trying to explore NFTs and also probably cryptocurrencies into the game offering. So these actually do pave the way for more mass adoption. But I think an interesting take is this tweet, right? So this guy says, Tadaka says that, so it seems Blizzard and Activision is trying to see if players are interested in crypto and NFTs in game. I got a survey for them and it is on the survey. I said very disinterested to them. right? So it shows that actually, even though we in Web3, we are very bullish about blockchain gaming, Metaverse supported by Web3, NFTs, stuff like that. But actually, a lot of gamers are very against cryptocurrencies and also NFTs, right? To them, they feel like it's gonna be another in-app transaction, right? So always look at different perspective. I think it's important for us to understand perspective, to understand that even though within our trader circle, we're all very bullish about blockchain gaming, NFTs, and Metaverse, existing gamers are actually quite bearish or reluctant to like NFTs and things like that. So that's one of the news. Another news is that the NFT thingy is starting to burst. One guru whose Black Swan theory foresaw 2007 financial crisis. So basically, this article is about Nassim Nicholas Taleb is basically a guru. He actually forecasted the 2007 financial crisis, right? Recently, he put out a tweet saying that the NFT thing is starting to burst. All you need is higher interest rate for things that makes no sense to start making no sense. So Jack Dorsey's tweet NFT once sold for 2.9 million now might fetch under 14k, right? So he basically used two angles. The first thing is interest rates, right? I talked about interest rate and how it is affecting the market, and it is important that we look at that, right? Rising interest rate means it's harder to borrow money, and when it's harder to borrow money, less money is in the playground, right? Number two, he looked about the recent news about Jack Dorsey's tweet. The owner of the tweet is trying to sell it, but was unable to find a buyer who's able to pay like a huge significant amount, right? So I think it is important. I hope people do see there's different type of NFTs. A tweet itself has no utility. It is an art or a collectible, right? It's hard for you to have utility. But for Moonbirds, as we just talked about, there's a staking mechanism. It's a membership system, or other NFT projects where there's a utility like a Metaverse land and stuff like that. Then it might not fall under this category, right? And I really want to put things into perspective by showing us some data, because if you look at Google Trends, right? For those of you who do not know, Google Trends is a place where you could plug in different keywords to see if people are interested in it, right? So I tried plugging in NFTs, NFT, non-fungible token, and to look at the interest of time in the worldwide, right? So basically, we could definitely see NFTs started picking up around in September to October last year, right? And then it went to a peak in January this year, right? And also definitely this was actually facilitated by Facebook's announcement. People are looking into NFTs, but without a doubt, there is an interest decline in February and March, right? But slowly, it is starting to maybe hopefully gain some more traction. So definitely interest is important. But trading volume is also an important indicator that we should see, which I will share today. And you can actually see the different countries that regions are interested in the different type of keywords like NFTs, non-fungible tokens. This is definitely very interesting that I think everyone should see, right? Interest for NFTs, the top 5 countries, right? Actually, South Africans are actually quite interested in NFTs as well. Maybe they think that it is a way to help them betterment of their life, right? But Ireland, UK as well. But if you search for NFT, actually Hong Kong has a high interest as well recently. But Turkey, Indonesia, Japan, and Iran. You search for non-fungible tokens, Ukraine, Russia, Austria, Chile, and Philippines. Pretty interesting. And you can see the related query, Solana NFTs, Bored Apes, and so on. Interest in by regions and stuff like that. So people, I think these are actually retail, because retail seen these headlines or Bored Ape Yacht Club, so they're curious about what exactly is an NFT and Bored Ape. But these tools, right? Google Trend is very important for you to put things into perspective to understand what is happening in the market. And another tool I like to use is DApp Radar. Because DApp Radar, not only do you see Ethereum NFT trading volume, you get to see the trading volume in other different type of blockchain as well, right? So you never used this before, go to DApp Radar, go to NFTs, and then go to Marketplace, go to all, sort by 24 hours, sort by trading volume. OpenSea is still the market leader. And then you have LooksRare, so these are Ethereum blockchains, right? And then you have Solana Art. So for those of you who are interested in Solana NFTs, you could definitely go to OpenSea, which supports Solana NFTs right now. But if you're interested in Solana NFTs, maybe Solana Art could be a platform for you to explore NFTs. Because always remember, the only reason why you can trade NFT is that there is someone who's willing to buy your NFT. So that means that you need liquidity, you need trading, you need volume, right? So always look at the high trading volume marketplaces, and then that is the way that you could possibly maybe find a buyer of your NFT, right? So definitely check this out. As you can see, besides Solana Art, Magic Eden is also a very big marketplace for Solana. And Flow blockchain, people use this block to obey as well. So for those of you who are interested in exploring other blockchain, this is a great start for you to see the major marketplace by trading volume. And the thing is, whenever you connect your wallet to a marketplace and you trade an NFT, you authorize these marketplaces to trade these NFTs on your behalf, right? So you want to use marketplaces that you can trust, rather than just a marketplace that someone created who wants to drain your funds or something like that. So definitely check out this DApp Radar. Helpful to see different type of marketplaces on different chains and the trading volumes. Not perfect. I think that there might be some data that is not available here, but not perfect, but a great overview of different type of chains, different type of marketplaces. So when we look at NFTs, right, and I do see a lot of people sharing this, doing analytics, right? Go to this OpenSea daily volume, right? A while back, people were saying that, hey, and also look at the NFT interest, right? January was the peak. And as you can see on OpenSea, January, February was a peak for NFTs because there's a lot of trading volume. But then it started to decline, right? Which is pretty similar to this graph. Do you see this, right? Peak interest, right? Bam, peak interest starts to decline. And then recently, this pump, people were saying, oh, NFTs are dying, no trading volume in, OpenSea. But recently, this pump actually started because of Moonbirds, right? A lot of trading volume on OpenSea because of Moonbirds. So it is good to see that people are starting to trade NFTs right now. But as you can see, money is coming from, smaller projects into blue chip projects. People are trying to liquidate the smaller projects to buy blue chip projects. So definitely, if you're holding other smaller projects, unless you have very long-term convictions and the floor path does not really affect you, put this into perspective. Your projects are not dead as long as the teams are still delivering, right? Your projects are still very much well alive. It's just that market conditions are, try moving the money, right? And I do foresee that, a bit more trading volume, and then maybe another spike because of Yuga Labs land sale if it happens within this month. So that's it. I think as we can see in the data, NFTs are far from dead. The bubble, could it burst? We never know. To be honest, I always say in my channel, NFTs are very risky asset, and that's why always spend the extra time to do your research and to look at this and monitor the market. You don't want to end up holding the bags, right? But I can say that in terms of not just NFT but crypto metaverse play, it is an interesting thing because Fidelity Investment, right? They recently launched their crypto metaverse ETF, right? Says we continue to see demand. So Fidelity is a huge financial services firm with more than 11 trillion under administration, right? It's launching exchange traded funds, ETF, focusing on the crypto ecosystem and the metaverse, right? So last week I talked about HSBC offering a metaverse fund. Now Fidelity is offering a metaverse fund, right? So it'll be interesting to see what companies they are buying in order to be a more informed or cautious investor, right? If they are buying, Sandbox, Decentraland, or blah blah, or Unreal Engine, Unity, things like that, then you know what the researchers and what the hedge fund managers are thinking about the metaverse, right? So this is Fidelity. They're launching 2 ETFs funds in April the 21st. Could that drive the market up? Maybe. Usually when these announcements happen, it could drive some bullish sentiments. So I think this is exciting to see. And what is exciting to see is that they manage 11 trillion, right? And if you look at the crypto market right now, the crypto market is just a 1.8 trillion market, right? So 11 trillion, and imagine them using just maybe 10%, right, of the the management into crypto and NFTs. that's almost like the whole crypto market, right? So that's a lot of new money coming in, or trading, on the futures of, Metaverse and ETFs. So my final news today is actually Coachella. For those of you who do not know, Coachella Festival just happened during last week, during the weekend, right? Coachella is a music festival, a lot of big things. Azuki, did some graphics for a Korean pop group, a hip hop pop group in Coachella. Have some some noise there. Snoop Dogg's son did like a launch in Coachella as well. Did the Medici family thing. Had some sponsors as well. But basically, this article is saying that people who go to Coachella can actually get an NFT for free, which is quite interesting. And it is also the project I want to talk about today, which is the NFT for Coachella in 2022. So this is not a flip play. If you're here for the next 100x flip, this is not it. But this is a very interesting case study that I kind of like, and I want to talk about in terms of the Coachella NFT, right? And actually, you can find out something by going through this article, and that is how much FTX is actually doing within the space to promote, and how they're trying to promote the platform, right? So basically, all 2022 attendees can now claim your free 2022 In Bloom NFT. But in order to claim it, you'll have to download the FTX app and follow the instruction below, right? So on Friday morning of each festival weekend, all owners will see their seed blossom into a desert flower, designed exclusively for weekend 1 and weekend 2 of Coachella. So Coachella is still ongoing, so there's 2 weekends, right? So use the commemorative flowers NFT to redeem these unique festival benefits. So if you are in Coachella, if you bought tickets and wristbands, right? Definitely check this out. You don't want to miss this. So if you have these NFTs, you have dedicated entry lines, so maybe you can skip lines. You have limited FTX X Coachella merchandise. You have food and beverage vouchers, right? So free stuff, why not, right? But be sure to look closely, because a random selection guest with a seed NFTs will be airdropped one of 6 rare flowers that can be redeemed for its associate premium upgrade at the festival, okay? So this is done in partnership with FTX US to build an environmentally friendly marketplace on Solana. So basically what happened is that now Coachella has a Solana NFT marketplace, right? So you could check out the updates on Discord server. So how do you claim it, right? You download the FTX app, create an account. In the promo code, you type Coachella, and then you enter your wristband code on the underside of your festival wristband. This should look like Coachella XXX. Your NFT seed will be deposited into your NFT wallet instantly, right? So basically, it means that FTX US itself could be a NFT wallet, right? It supports NFTs now, right? So this is how you claim it. And when entering the festival, look for FTX In Bloom 2022. The dedicated entry lines show your flowers in your NFT wallet on the FTX app to get entry, right? Visit the experience, and then you can claim your limited merchandise, food, beverage, culture. Show your flower in your NFT wallet on the FTX screen and scan your wristband to redeem your item. Only 1 redemption per wristband and NFTs. If you receive a rare flowers NFT, you'll receive an email to address used to sign up for your FTX account for further instruction, right? So basically, this NFT, imagine how many people goes to Coachella, right? A lot of people go there, right? Especially now, during COVID, people, really want to go express themselves, really want to go to live music and stuff like that. And all these people, all these attendees could now get an NFT using FTX. Right? So I think this is definitely going to bring more attention into NFTs. So NFTs are far from dead, right? Art NFTs, or maybe these collectible NFTs, has lower liquidity. I wouldn't say they're dead, but NFTs can have utility like this, like a souvenir, a concert ticket, right? So this is really interesting. You see Coachella having their own NFT marketplace supported by FTX, and then this is actually in on the Solana blockchain, right? And they're also selling a VIP pass, which is almost $1 million US, but you have lifetime access to Coachella in the future, and you also have special access, right? So really cool. I think that's it for today's show. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Spend a bit more time, to talk about the whole market. I want to calm you guys down. To talk about the daily news. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this, like and subscribe. Share my tweet. I always tweet this on Twitter. If you don't have time to watch like a 40 or 50 minutes video like this, just watch my tweet every day, and like and retweet it, right? Basically, I sum up everything I talk about in 5 or 6 tweets, right? So that's it. That's your host, Non-Fungible TC. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.